Breaking news, you're looking at video of one of the last times Oscar winner Gene Hackman, a known recluse in recent years, was seen in public. As we're learning incredible new details this hour about the circumstances surrounding his death. His front door open, scattered pills on the bathroom countertop, one dog dead in the closet, two still alive on the property. 95-year-old Hackman and his wife, a 63-year-old classical pianist, their German Shepherd dog, all of them tonight mysteriously dead. The police right now are ruling out a carbon monoxide leak. This frantic 911 call captured the moment they were found.
Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
Okay, my units are underway, okay?
So Josh Kimball is there outside Hackman's Santa Fe home right now with more of the stunning details surrounding these deaths.
I don't have a lot of fears. I have the normal fear of passing away. You know, I guess we all think about that.
Tonight, an investigation is underway into the death of two-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman.
They're going to work this case. They're going to look at every aspect and try to figure out the exact cause. And I think the autopsy is going to be key, and the toxicology. But again, in my experience, you know, that could take a while.
The 95-year-old Hollywood icon was found dead Wednesday inside his New Mexico home, along with his 65-year-old wife, Betsy Arakawa, and a dog, according to officials. Circumstances which the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office called suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation.
It's concerning that everyone in the house, including the dog, is deceased.
Deputies were called to Hackman's house on a welfare check request made by two maintenance workers, according to a search warrant.
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
Inside, deputies found the couple's bodies in different rooms and say they appeared to have been there for some time. Hackman in a mudroom, his wife in a bathroom near a space heater, with an open prescription bottle on the counter and pills scattered around. Deputies say she had obvious signs of death and body decomposition. Two healthy dogs were also found on the property, with a third found dead near Arakawa's body. Officials did not find any signs of forced entry, and the fire department and gas company didn't find any obvious signs of a gas leak or carbon monoxide. A sheriff's office spokesperson says the cause of death has not been confirmed, but it is not believed to be foul play.
And here in Santa Fe, Sheriff's Department officials here working behind me have yet another high-profile death case on their hands. Aaron, you and I covered at length the Alec Baldwin case, that fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rust. This is the same investigative team that worked that case. Now, we did get some new information tonight from sheriff's officials. We're told that an autopsy has been conducted on both Hackman as well as his wife. They say that initial findings note no external trauma to either individual. They say that carbon monoxide toxicology reports have been requested. Finally, as sheriff's officials gather information, it's worth pointing out that this could take weeks or months before we know exactly what the cause of death is. That's because these medical examiner cases often take time in order to get to the root cause of these deaths. Yeah. Aaron?
Wow, and incredible, the same team, though, from the Alec Baldwin case on the Rust set. All right, thank you very much, Josh.
More now on our breaking news about the mysterious circumstances surrounding the deaths of legendary film actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and a dog that authorities have called suspicious, including the reported condition of Hackman's and his wife's bodies and what an affidavit calls mummification in both hands and feet. Joining us is our Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst, John Miller, and also Dr. Judy Melinek, forensic pathologist and author. John, what stands out to you about this? You've seen a lot of crime scenes.
Well, it's all that it tells us and all that it refuses to tell us. A lot of questions to answer, but you know, you have Gene Hackman, who is in the mudroom off the kitchen by the back door, who appears to have taken a fall.
A cane was found nearby.
And
glasses.
A pair of sunglasses. It looks like he fell where he was and he dropped what he had. You have his wife, Betsy, in a bathroom on the other side of that floor where there are pills scattered on the counter and a space heater that's been knocked over, and a dog in a kennel or a crate that's also deceased. And, you know, it's the kind of thing where you could say murder-suicide, but it doesn't appear to have the trauma that would go with murder. You could say a joint suicide, but those things usually come with somewhat of a ritual where people will take an overdose, get in bed together, or hold hands sitting down.
You could also have an accident and a suicide.
You could have an accident and somebody saying, well, I don't want to live without him. But you have all those possibilities, and as Judy will tell us, there's a Latin saying in the medical examiner's office that says, this is where the dead come to teach the living. The bodies may tell us more than the scene. It's probably going to have to come together to come to one answer.
Well, Dr. Melinek, I mean, what does their bodies apparently being partially mummified? I mean, how long does that actually take? I guess if it's hands and feet. What does that actually mean?
So the extremities can mummify relatively quickly in a hot ambient environment. It's hard without knowing how warm it was or dry it was in the house, but they've clearly been dead for several days, and I'm saying days plural in order to get that kind of mummification. One of the ways of figuring this out, obviously, is from the scene investigation to find out when did they last pick up the mail, when did they last check in with relatives, phone calls, those kind of things, because people generally will communicate with others during the course of their time. But then you also can use other guides from the autopsy to determine the time of death, or at least estimate what we call the postmortem interval.
I don't want to get into too many details, but when the authorities use the term mummification or mummified, does that just mean liquid that it's just like skin and bones at that point, or what happens?
It means that the skin has dried. So what's happened is it's wrinkled up and it's dried. And it could be anything from kind of a leathery change all the way to the point that it's so hard that you can't even cut through it easily with a scalpel. So sometimes it just looks a little bit leathery, and that'll be called mummified as well. So it still just gives us a ballpark.
And that takes
We would need
days.
to know more information about the condition of that. Can take, definitely, it usually takes days. It's not something that happens in hours. It's multiple days, probably even weeks.
John, I mean, the door was ajar. I guess an exterminator or a caretaker came and found it that way, alerted the local security. There was a dog who was alive in the house, and a dog also that belonged to them who was outside the house.
Right, but the door being ajar means, what Judy describes, which is they could have been there 10 days or 2 weeks, meant that the dogs could have had access to come in and out of that doorway. They might have had access to food and to water, whereas the dog that was in the crate, assuming the crate was closed, wouldn't have had that and would have passed away during that time. The door being ajar, of course, raises other questions. Was someone else inside the house? Had someone discovered them before? Did they leave the door ajar on purpose? Was there some kind of gas or carbon monoxide or something that made them think we need air from outside, and they opened the door before they were overcome? So that means they've got to go in every direction. They have to eliminate everything that it could be to find out what it is. Some of that will be in the autopsy. Some of that will be in the advanced stages of the toxicology, which could take 3 or 4 weeks or longer. But a lot of that's going to be what's in their computers, what was in their mindset, were their communications with other normal? Did they go to a physician? Did somebody get a diagnosis that was very bad that would have influenced that if one died, the other would go too? There's so many questions to answer right now from a confusing crime scene and for what it lacks.
Yeah. John Miller, thank you. Dr. Judy Melinek as well. Thank you. Appreciate it.